All right. Thanks again for your patience, everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started now. Thank you so much. So hello, everybody. My name is April Dozat. I'm the Director of Enterprise Sales and Strategy here at TapClicks. I'll be your moderator for today. I want to start, of course, by thanking you all taking time out of your busy day to join us. I really think the next 30 minutes is going to be worth your time. So again, thank you so much. One really quick housekeeping item before we do begin. If you have questions, please put them in the Q&A tool. It's at the bottom of your screen, and we'll save time at the end to go ahead and answer those questions. I'm sure we'll get some really great questions from the group. All right, so guys, many of you are either current customers or are simply familiar with TapClicks when it comes to our unified data management and our visualization solutions. But the primary topic for today is a discussion around TapOrders and TapWorkflow. These are our order management and task management solutions. I want to go ahead and take a minute to welcome our guests. So today we have Megan Malone. She's the founding partner at Vici Media, as well as Kristen Lundeen. And Kristen is the Senior Director of Product Solutions here at TapClicks. So hello, ladies. Thank you for joining and welcome to the webinar.
Happy to be here.
Hi, April. Happy to join as well.
All right. So just going to walk through the agenda really quick. Want to make sure everybody's understanding what we're planning to walk through today. So we're going to start off with sort of an introduction and a bit about Vici Media, including some challenges that they've faced in the past, in addition to diving into the solution to their challenges. And so Kristen is going to go ahead and take us through that conversation, as well as a high-level demo. We're going to go ahead and end with Q&A, as well as a special offer for all of our webinar attendees today. So we're pretty excited to talk about that as well. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to you, Kristen.
Thanks, April. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to start out by just asking Megan a couple of questions and have her give us a flavor for what her company does, how they work, and how they leverage TapClicks. So hi, Megan, and thank you so much for being a part of the Tap family. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and about Vici Media, if you could?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and thanks so much for having me here. I love working with you guys. Not anything I can do, but a little bit about Vici. If you ask my dad what we do, we're web development and we build websites, and that's absolutely incorrect. That's not what we do, but I can't seem to convince him otherwise. But what we do, we actually been a company since 2014, and we mainly partner with agencies and media groups. That's kind of our two core audiences. And for those folks, what we do is we do all of the different types of digital advertising. It could be campaign buying, online spend. It could be media planning, all sorts of different types of digital tactics with the optimization, reporting. We do all of that for our clients. And kind of the thing about the way we have to work with our clients is that they themselves have clients. So there's multiple levels of people that we're working with that need our services. And we try to do all of that with giving them the best customer service possible. So the newest, the latest digital technology, we're out there, we're testing it, we're seeing how it works, and then we roll it out to all of our clients and our partners at once. And we're pretty excited. This year, we actually did get nominated. We were one of the top 500 fastest growing technology companies in North America. So we've come a long way in 6 years, and it's been a wild ride.
Super exciting stuff. So tell us, if you could, a little bit about how did you go about choosing TapClicks? Yeah,
so it started with a kind of a problem that we had in that, number one, all the different clients that we had was getting very challenging to organize. Yeah. We used to have a WordPress site that people would go on, log in, submit their orders for us, and then we would manually develop their reporting for them and email it to them. And then they would send it to their end client. The problem was that with that was our WordPress template was constantly breaking. When you have an email-based system, it's just doomed to be confusing, to get lost. We tried all sorts of different ways to manage that ordering process, and we were just really struggling for that. Outside of the ordering side, the other huge challenge that we had was that no platform really looked like another platform. So if you're buying on Xandr versus Google versus Facebook, I mean, every single platform that you use has a different level and style of report. So when we get really complicated clients that we're buying, let's say 5 different types of technology, right? And we're pooling it all together, the problem was all of our reports looked completely different than one another. And then at the very beginning, when we were just trying to scale our company, keeping all of the various tasks and the various steps in line was really tough. I mean, just to launch a very basic digital campaign, you've got to get the creative, the click-through rate, you've got to get your buying set up, you've got to get container tags out, you have to track the right conversions. There's at least 15 to 20 steps for some of the most basic digital campaigns.
Right.
And so we were just completely, you know, we realized this right away. We want to be the best in the business, and part of being the best in the business is you have to stay super organized, and you have to figure out how to manage this huge amount of work that's happening, both on the order side as well as the analytics side. And that's when we went searching for Tap, and thank goodness
you found us,
you guys, because I don't know what we would be doing without that. I mean, it's such an integral part of our business at this point that you know, everything that we do actually runs through Tap. And so if we want a new technology, a new product, we have to make sure that it's all integrated into the same portal.
That's great. That's great. So can you share a little bit about what areas of Tap are you taking advantage of? A little bit more about like how it applies to your, how it solves the problem.
Yeah. So what we do is we actually use not only like the analytics side where we're pulling in all sorts of different types of platforms and the managed data, but then we also use the workflow, the orders template. We were really fortunate that when you guys started developing this technology, we couldn't get it fast enough. We were so excited to get it. And basically what that means is that one of our clients can log into our Tap system, and they can start the entire journey of a campaign from entering a request for proposal, adding all of the correct details in one order with like easy to click line items for each of the different products, which then sends it to us. Then our campaign team can start planning that actual order itself and doing all of the research, all of the forecasting around that order. We then send it back to them. Then from there, someone can flip a request for proposal into an insertion order on that same line item without re-entering the order again. Remember, we came from WordPress, so you had to do that all over again.
Yeah.
And then from there, once the campaign goes live, all sorts of different tasks are assigned, not only to the client, but also to the buyer, so that everyone is staying in line with how to get the product to the finish line. And then once that actual product is live, that's when we can actually see the analytics behind it. So all, you know, in real time, a client can pull their own report. They could see exactly what's happening. Even if they're running 10 different products, they can see it all in one really easy to see analytics tool. And then we use the reports. So like we use the whole thing, you know, from start to finish. And it's really nice because as I kind of mentioned before, we're really big on customer service, and that has to do with a lot of the growth that we have. Being able to spare your inbox just by being able to keep all of these conversations and projects aligned into one simple item is absolutely huge for us, because keep in mind, we're managing 1,300 campaigns at once every month.
Wow.
And my company, by the way, we have 15 ad buyers doing that. And the rest are trainers and account reps and whatnot. But like, there is a huge amount of efficiency that's saved just by being able to manage it all in one system. It makes our lives easier, and it makes our clients' lives easier, because you're just taking a lot of shortcuts and you're just giving them the ability to feel in control of a project from start to finish, because there's a lot of transparency involved.
That's amazing. That's great. Thank you. So the what part do you like the best out of the overall marketing platform?
Which one do I like the best? Well, I do love the workflow and the orders section. I'm the founding partner of the company, so whenever we get an insertion order, that makes me really happy.
Money's good, right? Money's good.
That's always good. Yeah. And it's kind of fun, because whenever it's like seeing a live queue happen. So imagine, for those on the line that can't visualize what this looks like yet, like imagine being able to log into something and seeing statuses on tons of different things and have them update every time you log in. I'm like, wow, there's a wave of RFPs coming in. There's a wave of insertion orders coming in. It just helps us really understand what the workflow is going to be. And it also helps us, with our company, with hiring and things like that, because we know what the average, lifeline and timeline is of what it takes for an RFP to go to an IO, to, what the renewal rates are, all of that good stuff, because of the analytics we have in Tap. So we know if we need to hire another ad buyer, 5, 6, 7 months down the road, because of what we're seeing in the field right now, so that we can better prepare ourselves.
That's great. That's super exciting to see all of it come together in one place. It's awesome. Great. Well, so thank you for taking the time today. If there's anything, do you want to add anything else? I was going to pop in and show folks a little bit about the platform and see how it looks and feels. But do you want to add anything else, Megan, before we jump over to that?
I'm just really excited about the goals and the pacing integrations that you guys have coming out. I think that once our ad buyers can start seeing how their campaigns are pacing and being able to track a campaign inside the system, that's going to be such a goldmine for us. And you guys are always doing that innovation. So thank you for that. But
thank you, Megan. Great. And I'll actually be able to show a highlight of a couple of those screens as part of my demo. So we'll all be able to see it. Okay. But yeah, exciting. Okay, I think at this, April, I think I'm going to go ahead and pass over or transfer over to me sharing, so that I can go ahead and jump into the platform. And as a reminder, please, anybody who has questions, please post them in the Q&A section, and we'll be happy to take those at the end of the session. Okay, so as Megan was mentioning, the TapClicks platform is one unified solution. It includes both the reporting and analytics components of the platform, as well as an order and workflow management piece. So on the left-hand nav, you see all of the users are logged in. If you're not familiar with TapClicks already, all of the users are role-based. So when we get into when somebody logs into the platform, they know what role that person needs to have. So in the case, like Megan was mentioning, if one of her partners logs in, they can see only the accounts that they're responsible for and that they're booking from. So be a high level of flexibility around the hierarchy and being able to organize your customers as well as your advertisers in an organized way. So up here, let's start real quick with our view of the dashboards. So I like to actually kind of start and end with the visualization, and Megan really alluded to this in her discussion, which is really the ability to be able to not only see what's going on inside all of the platform, in all of the programs. Oops, actually, I'm doing it wrong. I'm going. All right, let me go to the right dashboard. Hold on a second. Being able to see all of that information in that one place where you can see what's going on within your campaign. So open orders by market, what's in what status, how many, where my revenue is tied up. So my budget by different product types is really all being able to see that from within the core TapClicks dashboards and fed from the data in orders and workflow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you real quick a couple of our orders. So the platform itself is designed to be really, really flexible. And as Megan was mentioning, being able to configure things like an RFP flow that's completely different from your insertion order so that you don't have to double entry. You go ahead and put one request in with some of the basic information. We can route it through your organization for the responsiveness, then turn it in and flip it directly over into a regular order, and then kick off the next level of the flow. So what this is also showing you visually where it is in the process. So in this particular demo, I'm set up to take it through a variety of steps. Now, this is definitely all customizable or configurable for our customers. So your list of steps might be very different. Right here on the right-hand side, we can see basically what are the open tasks. We can also see all of the history of all of the tasks that have been previously done, and being able to drill directly in to see who worked on it, when they got it done, and what was the details. I'm going to scroll down real quick. And you can see these are the individual line items that are associated with this order. And if I go and pop in here, what you're going to see is you're going to see that this line item, I'm capturing a whole bunch of information, and this is pretty much inspired by a display buy, but you can see that, you know, I'm capturing all of the information about the campaign, the individual budget, how it's being delivered, in terms of the targeting and what targeting options there are. This is a visual radius level of targeting that you can use within the platform, and you can even include information about your creatives if necessary. Let me jump back over. The other place that those tasks that I was talking about that are over from the task list, they're also organized in the queues area. So for all of those tasks that we have, you can see very quickly all of my creative builds all in one place. So I can see really quick if I've got a team who's going to work on this, they can work first in, first out by coming in and just grabbing and starting a task from here. Additionally, you could have a manager come in and explicitly assign those tasks over to somebody on the team. So that allows you a lot of flexibility to control it. The third way that we go about assigning tasks is we actually have a set of rules underneath the covers so that it can be automated as part of the workflow to direct the tasks over to the right person to work on them. So all three of those options kind of coexist together. We also have on these tasks items this item for being overdue. So those are actually configurable due dates that are based on either the task itself or something about the entity it's connected to. So the line item start date or the order start date can be the reference for a due date. So in the example that I like to use is if you have to have creative maybe you have to have the pixel dropped 3 or 4 or 5 days before the campaign's scheduled to go live, then you probably want to have a due date on that task automatically set for 5 days before the campaign's scheduled to launch. So that gives us a lot of flexibility to be able to control and inform people when things are starting to get kind of age out and potentially risk some of the revenue that you've got booked in. Okay, then there's additionally a few other sort of bells and whistles in here. First of all, this availability item, what this does is this allows people to actually immediately respond whether they're available for work. This is really great if you're working with a distributed team where you don't necessarily see all the people who are working. And that way you can actually redirect tasks directly into somebody who can work on it immediately if it's a rush order or if it's something that immediately has to get done. Additionally, that availability is also shown with this item of putting somebody on extended absence. So in this case, I've got Mike Crouch on extended absence. He's got 33 tasks on his plate. I want to really quickly be able to make sure that I can get these redirected to somebody else on the team to get that work done. So really a lot of tools to be able to sort of manage that workload and make sure that you're getting the tools in the right place or the tasks completed in a timely way and meeting your SLAs. Additionally, full notifications. So email notifications within the platform are generated whenever something about an order changes or needs to be addressed. So that will, they can kick off an email off to whoever's associated with that order, whoever's got that task. Additionally, those emails can be turned off. So if you've got an ops team who's, you know, they're in the platform every day, all day, they don't need their email box to get filled up. You can go ahead and configure that on that particular user to make sure that they don't necessarily get the email notifications. They do everything from within the platform. Okay, the last area that I was going to point out is I wanted to highlight that goals area. So one of the latest things that we're bringing out, and Megan alluded to this, is the ability to go ahead and do goal tracking automatically from within the platform. So what this does is this actually allows you to configure your goal associated with your data source and the elements from the campaign that are relevant so that you can track the progress toward that goal. Now, one of the nice things about the latest release of goals is that it is integrated with TapOrders, meaning while you're completing your work, you can go ahead and just immediately set up these goals based on information captured on the campaign. So these goals, basically the bubble, shows you where you are in terms of pace at this point in the program. So what it does is it actually distributes the objective in terms of impressions, for instance, or clicks or budget across the life of the campaign, and then it will track you and see how you're tracking to deliver that for the end of the campaign. So this gives you basically your early warning sign to be able to help you optimize that program to make sure that you're delivering what it's supposed to. Another thing I'll highlight about this is you'll notice that the green, yellow, and red are on both sides of the target. And that's actually really important because, you know, in a lot of cases, over delivering is equally as bad as under delivering because what you're doing is you're eroding your margins. So what we want to do is we really want to get in that green sweet, well, the bubble and the green sweet spot. If it starts to track outside of that, you probably want to make adjustments to the campaign. All right, the last, and I'll sort of bookend the overview by coming directly over and back to this, this dashboard where now you can understand, now that we're capturing the orders, we're managing all of the tasks, being able to make that available in visualizations to be able to internally manage your organization starts to become really, really practical. All right, I think with that, April, I will hand it back to you if there's anything else, and we'll take some questions and answers.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, Kristen. That's great. All right, it looks like we have a couple of questions. Okay, so we have, okay, how long does onboarding take for this particular, okay, so onboarding, Kristen, I'll let you take that one.
Sure. So the Orders and Workflow platform itself is it's embedded in your operation, as Megan mentioned during her section. It really does become an embedded piece of your delivery operation. So one of the things that we do is we work very closely with our clients to understand their processes and best apply the technology to those processes. Now that typically can take anywhere from roughly 4 to 8 weeks, sometimes longer, up to 12 if it's a complicated engagement. However, we work directly hand in hand with the client to help them apply the technology to the workflows that they've got in their organization. What we've seen a lot is in a lot of our customers, this might be the first time that they've ever gone through and even mapped out what they do to service their clients. So this gives them an opportunity to really refine that, make sure that they've made any improvements to it, and then apply the technology to automate where it can and improve the efficiency in any of the manual places.
Right, okay. Thank you, Kristen. So it looks like we have a few here. I'm looking at the time. We'll go through probably a couple more here. So it looks like, can the entry forms, I think they're probably talking about order forms there, Kristen. Can the entry forms be customized?
Oh yeah. Okay. So yes, the what I showed you in the demo was really just the just a flavor of the platform. Every one of our customers has an entry form either for orders or RFPs like Megan was talking about, or even for the individual line items that's very specific to either how they go to market, their needs analysis, or the product set that they are in the market with. So those are all fully configurable from within the platform. And actually, it doesn't require any coding. So it's typically a business analyst type of experience level can go ahead and tweak those forms and tailor them to match up to what you use or what you need to capture as part of your process. I'll also point out that on an ongoing basis, what we typically do is we'll help with the implementation for the first, get people up and live. And then afterwards, we typically train our customers and they administer the platform on an ongoing basis. So it can evolve and grow with you as you bring new products into markets.
Great. And last here, dovetails perfectly into it. Can different products have different workflows?
Certainly. And in fact, that's most often the case because in a lot of situations, I mean, obviously, you're probably going to do a slightly different process for a social media program than you do for an O&O buy in the case of a media company. There's probably a few different definitely steps and tasks and potentially different teams involved. So each of the products that are associated with in particular order can flow their own path. They can follow their own path through your organization and through the workflow. And like I mentioned earlier, we can even do that with an RFP versus a regular order. So you can have start out, like Megan said, with the RFP, turn it into an insertion order, and then all of the line items go off on their appropriate path through your organization.
Great. All right, we do have 2 more questions, but we're going to go ahead and get back to those people individually on that. And so thank you all. We're at about time. I just want to end here by reminding everybody that we do have a special offer for our webinar attendees, and that offer is 20% off your platform fee. So this is a really, really great time, folks, to go ahead and learn more about TapOrders and TapWorkflow and how we can streamline your business as we've done with Vici Media. All right, so thank you all so much for your time today. I think that pretty much wraps things up, and we will follow up with some various items, including just some follow-up materials from today. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.